So, welcome to the last session for our course, in which we will conclude and provide a summary of what we have learned so far. So, what we aimed to showcase was that we wanted to provide an overview of the Data for Good landscape. So, based on the initial sessions, like session 1 and 2, we wanted to provide an idea about data science and establish a link between data science and data for good. This should lead as an inspiration or deal as an inspiration in order to find practical approaches for initiating your own projects. By mapping the landscape, we try to highlight that there is an ecosystem of data science for social good and similar organizations, and that this ecosystem exists all over Europe. By providing the idea about data science, we wanted to emphasize the impact in social good initiatives. Also, we wanted to encourage autonomy by inspiring individuals to independently initiate and engage in impactful projects. So the goal was that we wanted to provide an idea about the underlying motivation behind data for good projects. And we hope that we could inspire you to initiate, engage in impactful project. Also, we wanted to fostering collaboration by showing the network all over Europe, and also by creating a new initiative in Lithuania. We had the goal to promote the networking opportunities with other initiatives in order to improve the existing knowledge spillover that are already there. By showcasing the best practices, we also wanted to underline the idea how important it is to provide open source solutions so that other data enthusiasts could learn from your findings. So based on the framework that we presented here in our presentation and on our platform, which are all open source projects conducted by different data for good initiatives, we wanted to provide examples in order to underline the relevance of open source data and project codes. If you have a look at the Data for Good landscape, we wanted to show that the Data for Good unites global organizations and initiatives. Here we named Correlate, DataKind, and DSSG as the largest organizations that we could identify all over Europe. All organizations do have in common that they apply data science for positive social impact. Also, we noted that those organizations operate in regional chapters. For instance, Berlin, Singapore, or Hamburg, Bremen, or in the south of Germany. However, due to their overall network, they connect data enthusiasts, data talents with non-profit organizations in order to work on projects with social impact. While there are many data for good initiatives worldwide, our landscape showed that the landscape is somehow fragmented. And this was basically a challenge, or is a current challenge, in coordinating the accessibility of data science for good services. So this is basically a challenge for both, for enthusiasts who want to join such an initiative, and for organizations who would like to receive data consultation by a Data for Good initiative. Therefore, the finding of our project was that this landscape lacks in a clear structure, and it's a kind of challenging way to navigate between the different initiatives all over Europe. Although the different organizations work on similar goals and have similar values in their projects, they often lack in collaborations. So it could happen that within one city there are two different initiatives working on project without talking to each other. So here, the individual nature of organization was or is an ongoing challenge. And especially when it comes to knowledge spillover, sharing best practices, this is an issue which needs to be addressed in further research as well. Another topic is the marketing of those organizations. Most of them are not well known outside specific communities. Therefore, there is a risk of underutilized resources and expertise because of this less or lack of marketing, of self-marketing and knowledge dissemination. When it comes to the knowledge transfer to new regions, we set up a new voluntary initiative in Lithuania, and we funded it in Vilnius, and there it is managed by the Vilnius universities. So we were able to set up a squad which comprises volunteers who work on diverse projects with the goal of promoting data science for good in Lithuania. We also initiated the first project, and here the project partner was the dog shelter management in Lithuania. The challenge of this partner was that the data on dogs was initially recorded manually. So if they found a dog in the street or if a dog was brought to the shelter, they had paper sheets, and there they will record the date, gender, size, and the type of the dog. As an initial solution, the new initiative was able to digitalize this process and transferred the given paper-based information via computer vision techniques to Excel. So they were basically scanning the handwritten documents and were able to derive the relevant information and store them into Excel sheets into a structured way so that they could be analyzed. Based on this Excel-based information, we were able to identify patterns such as entry and exit dates for each dog, so that basically the duration of a dog within the shelter could be forecasted, and that the shelter gets a feeling for the people that are involved when a dog comes to the shelter and for the duration a dog might stay as a shelter. And this helps to properly plan the resources a dog might need as long as it stays in the shelter. Also, another application was that the pictures of those dogs were analyzed via face recognition, and this helps to determine the type of dog, and this helps to check out if the same dog had been sheltered previously, and to identify the race of the dog and probably the age of the dog. So this was basically the initial project that we initialized based on our project in Lithuania. And also we completed several sub-projects based on that. So this means a data collection and analysis was conducted. The picture recognition for dog re-identification was developed, and Google Ads as well as ongoing machine learning applications are under scrutiny and are developed. The next part is why we presented the platform, or why we came up to establish a platform, is that knowledge management, from our point of view, is an essential part for the success of those heterogeneous and individually organized initiatives of volunteers. As most participants are volunteers, the knowledge management is essential not only within an organization, but also outside the organizations all over Europe. As volunteers do have their own life, their own work plans, volunteers come and leave, and each initiative has to make sure that the knowledge stays within the organization or within the initiative. Also, based on best practices, as we presented it on our homepage as well, and in the fifth session, it is relevant to share the best practices and experiences throughout all initiatives so that everyone can benefit from the learnings of one individual squad. Here we found that DSSG Portugal and Correlate in Germany are belonging to the key players and the most established organizations or Data for Good squads, and they are doing a tremendous job in fostering knowledge sharing and in self-marketing in order to be identifiable by potential beneficiaries. So if you are interested, check out DSSG and Correlate and DataKind homepages. They're doing a tremendous job. So therefore, knowledge exchange between organizations and volunteers is also a prior to success. And here it is also necessary to establish a kind of continuity between initiatives and organizations, although initiatives have to deal with the higher fluctuations of volunteers who come and go. So this is basically an ongoing challenge. Also, we had the goal for different target groups. So for each target group, we had different goals. For students, we would like to inspire the curiosity and showcase the possibilities of data science in solving real-world problems. So if you're a student or a young professional, working in the field of data for good means that you get access to interesting projects and in relevant roles within a project by doing something good and by creating social impact. If you're a data enthusiast, via our platform, we try to provide the European map, which helps you to network, to do the networking and to identify your peer group all over Europe. Also, we offer tools and resources which can be applied in your projects in order to ensure the successful conduction of the project, to ensure that the impact that was planned can be realized. Also, for nonprofit organizations and NGOs, we try to raise awareness of how data can be applied in order to get impactful decisions. So with the help of the use cases and with the help of our platform, we try to lower the burden to get in contact with data scientists that try to help those organizations. Because what we found out from our interviews was that one of the time-consuming component of a project is the initial talk between data scientists and nonprofit organizations to get on the same page. And here we had the result that nonprofit organizations have to learn what a data scientist can do and what a data scientist need in order to do it. And the data scientists spend a lot of time to provide information about what is possible for non-profit organizations. And with our platform, we hope that we can save some time for both parties as a tool to get information that is relevant in order to work together. Also, we emphasize the importance of structured data collection so that non-profit organizations know that the data has to be there in a structured format, so that you have to be aware what kind of data is within your company or your organization, and then in an ideal world, that you already have it in a structured way. Typically, that's not the case, but therefore we provide the data maturity framework, so which could deal as a kind of self-assessment before you talk to data scientists, so that you know about your own situation and you save the time of a data scientist. So, however, our project is simply an initial step towards the ideal network of social data scientists all over Europe. And as a future challenge for us, we conclude, or we found that social data science must now face the current wave of artificial intelligence as well. As artificial intelligence needs a huge, tremendous amount of data, social organizations must be aware that if they want to have access to artificial intelligence, data must be available. And then, if artificial intelligence at some point in time is applied, we have to make sure that artificial intelligence is fair, transparent, and free from bias. That means that the data sets which are created in order to train artificial intelligence must be fair, transparent, and free from bias, and that the application of artificial intelligence is in line with the ethical standards. Also, we must further address the privacy, security, and discrimination risk of artificial intelligence as the application of AI expands. So we are in 2024, 2025, and we are facing the application of large language models, namely ChatGPT, and we have to make sure that the social impact of those large language models in terms of discrimination and transparency is ensured. And this is in line with the data maturity. So most of the NGOs and nonprofit organizations lack in data infrastructure and expertise. Therefore, from our point of view, the current situation is at this stage that most of the data science services should deal with the generating or with the infrastructure of NGOs. Also, collaboration across sectors, which is basically common in industries, should also be available for social organizations. Therefore, strengthening the partnerships between NGOs and tech companies, for instance, and governments could be a promising and fruitful step. And also sustainable collaborations should address complex social challenges. If we look ahead, artificial and data science should promise to address the complex social issues with technology and collaboration paving the way to sustainable solutions. Therefore, if we address artificial intelligence in the context of social good, we have to be aware of the diverse social challenges, especially in the field of healthcare or environmental issues. And in this vein, we have to make sure that artificial intelligence is transparent, accountable, and builds public trust. And this can only be done if a huge amount of data science projects is conducted in this area so that not only volunteers are doing it in their free time, but also professionals have the time or have the duty in their normal jobs. And then, based on the solutions, the focus should lie on scalable and sustainable solutions. So across regions, the developing of solutions should be designed to reach a broader audience so that it can be scaled. So this means that not only individual use cases should be solved, but also the solutions should be made accessible to the public. And then, given the limited amount of times social data scientists have to work on projects, like long-term sustainable projects should be prioritized in order to deliver the impact over time. So for us, in a nutshell, it is a call for action. If you are interested in social data science, and if we triggered your interest in conducting projects, please come to our platform and use your skills to make a real impact on society. You might use the link of our platform to get an overview, or you might directly contact the listed organizations that are listed in our European map. Data Science for Good relies on dedicated volunteers to drive impactful change. And be aware that your skills can empower communities, tackle real-world problems, and create lasting solutions. And it is to note that you do not necessarily have to do the programming. As you could see, in each project, you do need project managers who are able to coordinate the projects. You need people who are able to scope a project, so people with domain knowledge in social organizations and public organizations. So you have to understand the real issues they are facing in order to derive a realistic scope of a project that can be achieved by volunteers who work in their free time. And if you're interested in becoming a volunteer, you should join the community and you should connect yourself with professional enthusiasts which are all committed to positive social impact. From our point of view, it is possible to address all the critical challenges and to make a meaningful difference. Just come to the platform EPSILON and contact one of the organizations which are listed there. In case of any questions, please contact us. We do have our contacts at the platform EPSILON as well, and we are happy to hear from you. So thank you very much for your attention, and we are looking forward to hearing from you.